Energy drinks are no worse than any other sweet drink. I don't think that's entirely true, is it? Don't energy drinks contain things like caffeine or taurine or other stimulants? Like, it's not just sugar they put in there. And people react differently to stimulants. Like, you know, some people take, like, caffeine, they can get heart palpitations, other people get the shakes, other people get headaches. Like, there's all kinds of reactions to these things. Spezzy sponsorship. Yeah, but the difference to me there, Beaker, is I would quite happily drink a can of Spezzy. I don't want to drink a can of Monster energy drink. Yorkshire tea should definitely sponsor me. I drink about 4 cups of it every evening on stream. Actually, I don't tend to drink water that much on its own. Like, if I drink water, I'll put ice cubes and some kind of cordial with it. I don't tend to drink just water on its own. Sponsored by Yorkshire tea would be amazing. Cops are in a Lambo. That was entrapment. That was 100% entrapment. He sat behind me and waited until I went through a speed drop, and then he nicked me. 100% entrapment. I can't believe you guys didn't boom that. It's outrageous. What a scumbag. I could brake test him. Should we see how good the brakes are on the Lambo? He doesn't even physics, does he? He's getting a bit testy. Think he's raring to go? It did sound nice, I'll give it that. What do you use to filter your tea water? What do they call it? What's the brand? Brita. What's Yorkshire tea? It's just a brand stroke blend of tea. You find no difference in the addiction level of energy drinks to regular caffeinated cola. Well, you may not, Slane, but my point really is that everybody reacts differently to energy drinks. They react differently to drugs, and that's what it is at the end of the day. It's a drug. So you may be okay with it, but the guy next door might have a bad reaction. Oh no, I've not seen that one for a while. Wait a sec. Wait. Where's my chat? I can't find it now. Somebody knows what's about to happen. If I can find his name quick enough. Oh, I think you're just going to have to get off with a normal ban, because unfortunately I can't seem to find you. Oh, there you are. Wait. No, you see, now I've got to unban him. Now I've got to unban him so that I can, like, golden hammer him. It's literally the same guy. It's literally the same guy every time. He always says the same thing. He's like obsessed with smoking weed. Avro Vulcan, welcome back. Hern Dog, 24 months, mostly a lurker, but enjoy the variety of games community. The last 2 years have been very enjoyable. Well, thanks for supporting me for 2 years, Hern Dog. What did he say? He always says the same thing. It's basically like, do you smoke hash? That's what he always says. It's the same guy. It's probably the same troll from earlier as well. It might be a reference to hash browns, but the fact that he put smoke in there, I don't think I've seen anybody smoke a hash brown. I mean, you could try. But... Well, Dre, I kept clicking on it and my stupid Twitch just ban him. Like, in the chat, you click it and nothing happens, and the page just sits there, so just ban him. It's like council tax, painful and non-negotiable, I like that. Mr. Rowland, 61 months, nice to see you live, thank you very much. I like being live as well. Yeah, the mods did ban him, Red Devil. He was lucky. It's not like he's ever going to ban a Peeler anyway. Dr. D, Mr. Squirrel's the same. The smoke alarm is the dinner bell. And I can say that because I know she's not watching, because right now she's walking down. Transistor Shark. That's an odd name, but welcome back. She does occasionally watch the stream, yeah. You never know when she's going to tune in, that's the problem. She's like one of those... It's like working at a department store and she's like a mystery shopper, you know what I mean? You never know when she's going to be there, so you have to be nice 100% of the time to all the shoppers, because the day that you're not nice is the day that you talk to a mystery shopper, who then reports back to HQ and you get the sack. So it's a bit like that. You never know when she's going to tune into the stream. Except, I know that when she's out walking Doyle, 100% she is not going to be watching the stream. So it's a safe bet that I can say she burns all the food. Which she doesn't. I'm like, literally she doesn't. Trust me, if she'd have been watching, right, I would have known about it by now. She's probably backtracking. Oh, are you one of those? Are you a grass there, Bob? Are you a grass? You're gonna grass me up? I thought we were friends, Bob. You'll be sleeping with Doyle tonight, Mr. Zarek. He'll keep you warm. I think he's back with a different character. A different Twitch name. There he is. Bye-bye. Bye-bye now. there's another one. Mr. Robertson, there's another one. It looks like they're multiplying. They're multiplying. Oh, there's another one. Mr. Regan. He's back on 3 different accounts. It's alright, it gives the mods something to do. They're going to be counting the scalps tonight. They're like, bosh, bosh, bosh. It's how quickly they can go and create more accounts now, isn't it? It's their Sunday night entertainment. Most ban wins a cap. You can ban them quicker, I'm sure you can, Dre. Oh, they do. They have to confirm their account, Kenko. They can't talk in my chat unless they provide an email address and then confirm their account via it. They have to do that. Mr. Diogo, thank you for the bits. No message. Thank you for the bits, Mr. Diogo. That Nope Legend. 17 months. I need to get like a little icon with a hammer on it that has like a number. And every time someone bans, it's dink. Alan K, I think Sabrina's in the drawer. Nah, you can't ban an IP address. You just can't do it. If you've got a bunch of people in a house, like say you're in a shared accommodation, right? Say you're like you've rented a room in a house, so you've got like 3 or 4 other people in the house renting rooms, and you've both got Twitch accounts. One of them behaves like a troll, IP ban. Now the other one can't talk on Twitch. You can't do that. You passed your S1 today. You can now control. Congratulations, Mr. Smudge. Nice one, dude. What's next, then? Email ban should be a thing. Why then? Email accounts are 2 a penny. It takes like 2 minutes to create an email account. What's the point? Mr. Sutty, how you doing? Tie the account to a credit card. Yeah, but that then means that nobody in chat can talk unless they have a credit card. Or their parents sign up with a credit card. That's not going to happen. You now want to go to S2 so you can control London. Is this... Wait, is this like VATSIM or is this IRL that we're talking about here? Carl Koo, welcome back. What are my thoughts on the Tesla cab? Game changer one day. You mean the real truck Boeing? I think everybody's kind of, you know, waiting to see what they do. I think for shorter journeys initially, they'll probably, like if you look at what's happening in London now, right? With the whole ultra-low emission zone, yeah? Pretty much what that says is, you've got to be an electric vehicle to drive in here. So for delivery drivers, they're pretty much going to have to go electric. So Tesla is already ahead of the curve on that, because it's building vehicles that can do the job. I don't think long haul, they won't make it long haul for a good while until maybe battery technology improves or something. But certainly for inner city deliveries, I think the Tesla truck will work. As long as they can get access to a charge point and not have to drive too far. Carl says, 3 months past 2 years. No close enough to call close to 3. Far enough from 2 not to celebrate. Either way, thanks for the great streams. Thank you very much, dude. Anonymous Moose, thank you for $2. Hail Squirrel. Thank you, Anonymous Moose. There are a few hydrogen trucks on the road, Portland. I don't know if hydrogen's gonna, I just don't know if it's gonna work or not. Eddie Sobart has dual fuel trucks for London. Are they capable of running on electric when they go inside London and able to get out again? Because, like, the problem with that is, if you've got a dual fuel truck, like, let's say you, I don't know, let's say you can switch to electric power when you go into the low emission zone, like, how can they enforce that? What's to stop that truck from putting its engine back on? No, it's not Jersey, because they generate it locally. You can create hydrogen locally. That's what they do. That isn't the problem. The problem is the amount of power that it generates per litre of it, if you like. And the cost to make it. They're the biggest problems of all. The actual there's a video that explains the difference between like a hydrogen car and an electric car and cost effectiveness. It breaks it all down, and it's quite an interesting watch. But when you look at it, hydrogen's just too expensive right now. That's the ultimate, because to make hydrogen and then like the energy that you need to make the hydrogen and then the amount of energy you get back when you burn it relative to the amount of fuel you have just doesn't stack. It doesn't economically work yet. It's not viable yet. It may be one day, but right now it isn't. That's the problem. You could say the same for battery cars 15 to 20 years ago. Well, it's still a problem even for electric cars now, Wyland. Like, even now they don't have the range, and the cost to manufacture is high, and the rare metals that you need for the batteries and all that kind of thing, to dig them out the ground, it means the cost of the batteries is very significant. So even now they are economically viable, but still not great, if you see what I mean. It's still cheaper to dig up oil out the ground, refine it, and put it in your tank. It's still, you know, you have to defeat that. That's the problem. It's an economic thing. Welcome back, Muttley. How's the low emissions going to work? Because coaches transport people. Well, I mean, they have. Yeah, I mean, I expect the buses will be given a special kind of buy. I don't know. I don't know what the ultra low emission zone in London's doing about that. Well, Stu Harris, that's a chicken-egg situation, isn't it? You have to build the charging points before people can start buying the cars to use the charging points. But then, naturally, they're not going to build too many charging points, given how many vehicles there are on the road. So, it's quite honestly chicken and egg. It's like supply and demand. As more cars start to require the charging points, they can start to build more and make the money from it. But there's always going to be a delay between there being not enough and then them building some more. I think the motorways will be the pinch points, because there's only so many charging points they can make at a motorway cafe. A motorway service station has a limited amount of charging points that it can have, because it only has so much land. And with all the cars coming through it and having to sit there for like half an hour charging up, that's where your pinch points will be, unless the range on the electric vehicles can get big enough that they don't really need them. It's an interesting problem. Trucks should have solar panel roofs. Well, I mean, you're just not going to get enough power out of solar panel to power a truck. If you took a trailer of a truck and covered it in solar panels, and let's forget about the cost of that, or whether somebody's going to come along and rip it off your trailer and sell it, the amount of kilowatts that would generate is not going to be enough for a truck. It simply isn't. And it's not like a problem that you can solve by just adding more batteries. Because as you add batteries, you add weight, and if you add weight, well, you need electricity to move the weight. So, again, it comes down to battery technology. You need more power per kilogram of battery. Bring back trams. Electric cables over every road, that would solve it. It's just an infrastructure problem then. You think you'll be flying into London in future paying £100 for low emissions? Flying into London comes with its own problems. Like, you can't just fly into London. It's very, very restricted on what you can do. Like, for example, if you want to fly like into central London over the Thames, you have to have, what is it now? You have to have either a twin engine, because the problem is if you've got a single engine and it fails, boom, you're going down into either the Thames, which is the expected thing that you'll do, or you're going to hit civilians or buildings. So there's loads of restrictions on what you can fly into London. Never mind the airspace problem. Compliant buses will be charged £100 a day. So you know what that's going to do? Guess who's going to pick up the tab for that? Everybody that gets on a bus. It's like another form of tax, basically. Oh my god. And why are they doing it? So that you can have clean air. You guess we're planning on Crossrail being ready? Well, Crossrail will be ready soon enough, but £100 for a bus to go into London? Is that once charged per day? Like, if the bus goes into London and comes out and then goes back in and comes out, is it charged twice in a day or once? See you, Mrs. Frosty? Rip? Rip? That's interesting. If you go into the red zone, the sound completely cuts out. Black cabs and ambulances will be exempt, but police and fire trucks will not. How does that work? Black cabs and ambulances are exempt, but police and fire trucks are not. Surely all the emergency services should be exempt. And why are black cabs exempt? They churn diesel out like nobody's business. That doesn't make any sense. How is, like, an ambulance less or more necessary than a police or fire truck? How did they manage to get that through? It's £100 for the day if it doesn't meet standards. I thought somebody said compliant vehicle. Compliant buses is what somebody said. Non-compliant vehicles that pay. Yeah, but in order to be an ultra-low emission vehicle, like I don't even think a Yaris hybrid is ultra-low emission, is it? It's going to have to be basically electric or hydrogen. It's crazy. I don't get it. I reckon we can hit level 98 tonight. You love your diesel scandal VW Passat. Oh dear. Let's see what the jobs out of here are like. Blimey, Cyprus with some lumber. Quite fancy that. Let's take that. Electric tractors. Good luck with that. Fusion generators and hydrogen production everywhere by 2040. So your money's on hydrogen more than anything else, Whiteland. You imagine cars with a reactor in it. You want a nuclear car? Really? What happens when you have an accident? When you have a head-on collision with a nuclear car? Is there not going to be a risk there of something pouring out onto the tarmac that you don't want? I'm reading chat, not concentrating on my driving. Yeah, ships and submarines, MIBs, is not a public environment. It's like a controlled environment, and they're buried deep inside the hull, surrounded by all kinds of protection. Surely a nuclear-powered car would force drivers not to crash. Yeah. Definitely. Can we have a vote? I don't want to be Prime Minister, Thomas. That is a job that I would not want, Prime Minister. Nope. No, it's better to generate energy in a safe place and then either transport it or bottle it or whatever in hydrogen's case. and put it in your vehicle that way. Exactly. Exactly, Whippy. I don't... You're right. I don't do democracy. I do dictatorship. El Squirrelo. I don't want to be Prime Minister, but I'll be the Emperor. If you want a nuclear car to come to Paul's live streams, buy one, get one free at Paul's live stream. Absolutely. I said, you buy one, you get one free. You read somewhere that batteries on electric cars are expensive? Yes, they are. They account for, this is what the video breaks down, they account for about 30% of the production cost of an electric car. But within about 4 years, it becomes very efficient, and then it basically saves money versus a petroleum car. 10 grand every 5 years. That's not true. I think the batteries are licensed, warranted for, is it 7 or 10 years? Most of the manufacturers do it for. And then, yeah, you have to replace them. Is it this one? Or the next one? It's an MAN TGA truck. Mazda's MAN TGA. Wait, what? Why is my sat-nav telling me to turn around now? Where the heck is the pickup point? It was there. Scumbag. British battery is warranted for 8 years. Yeah, I think Mr. Squirrel's Yaris is warranted like similar length. I can't remember. I think the bodywork's warranted for 10 and the batteries are like 7 or 8 or something. Oh my god, bro. But the cost to replace them after those 8 years, that's the real issue. Nobody wants that cost. Everybody's going to be selling the car before that cost hits, and anybody buying a car, like let's say there's a Prius 8-year-old up for sale. The first thing you're going to say is, have the batteries been replaced? And if not, you're going to be like, well, that's a 3 grand bill. And the car won't be worth the money to replace the batteries, and that is a big problem. The average user can't just charge a car battery themselves. You're dealing with 240 volts versus 12. So you need all the fancy equipment so you don't fry yourself. I'm not following your point there, Slane. Like, you can charge if you own a plug-in electric vehicle, you've got 2 choices. You either plug it into the mains with the charging cable they give you, or normally you can have a what do they call it? It's like a box that has fitted to your house that has the high voltage line going into it. But either way, it's just plug the cable in, walk away. There's nothing else to do. There's no fancy equipment. It's literally a charging cable. It's no more difficult to charge an electric vehicle than it is to refuel a petrol. Shove something in and walk off. Wireless charging a car. Mibsy, that's actually a thing. There's a oh, I forgot this is not a turning trailer now. There's a company that is making they're basically, at the moment, testing this out, but they've got a vehicle and it has a thing underneath it, and essentially you can drive down the road, and as you drive down the road it charges your vehicle. And what it is like a bunch of strips on the road, and they're saying that you can put these on the highway. It's a bunch of strips, and as you drive over it you get an electromagnetic induction that basically charges. It does a little bit of charge, and then you pass the next one and it charges again, pass the next one, it charges again, so you keep like trickle charging as you drive down the highway. And they're saying that this is the future of vehicles. You don't need to charge them up, because if you change the highways to have that, which obviously the problem with that is the infrastructure cost, but it's an interesting concept. It's kind of like Scalextric, except there's no actual physical connection to the road. Like Scalextric has like copper brushes that touch the surface of the track. These don't. It's all done by induction. Who's that? Rob Jansen by any chance? Rob Jansen, thank you for the host. I love that sound effect. And Mr. Roku. The dynamic duo is here. Thank you, Rob. What is going on with that thing tonight? Oh well. The mixer's playing up. There we go. It's not a Scania, it's an MAN TGA. It's like Ronnie Barker and Ronnie Corbett turning up, isn't it? Rob and Rob. The two Ronnies. The two Robbies, that's what you are. The two Robbies. Oh man, why have I done that? One sec. Have you guys been trucking by any chance? It's a good night from me, and a good night from him. Oh, trucking was yesterday, gotcha. Have you ever spilled a drink on your keyboard? I think pretty much everybody has. The worst ones I spilt it on, it basically fried the keyboard. It was like a sugary drink, I think, and it went straight down the keys, and then it flashed. And that was game over. Game over, man. Game over. Oh, you've been doing train sim tonight. Gotcha. Hot chocolate on a keyboard. Yeah, the worst thing to spill on a keyboard is sugar. Like, as in, if you spill a diet drink onto your keyboard and you spill a full fat drink onto your keyboard, the consequences are very, very different. You really don't want the sugary stickiness. You drop one of your previous mobiles into a sink full of water. That wouldn't really matter now, Zarak, because most mobile phones now are waterproof, aren't they? Look at that sky. Yeah, Rob, I remarked the same thing, that you've got an MAN with a super fast indicator. It's just not typical of an MAN at all. No. Mickaton. At least I don't think I am. Your keyboard is spill-proof. Or has it got like a membrane or something? Ooh, a glass of milk. That's bad, NASCAR. The reason that's bad is because you'll never get all of the milk, and then over the next few days that milk will start to smell really bad. And your keyboard will probably smell like cheese for the rest of its life. You could call it a cheese board. Aha! But don't.
This is so nuts.
I missed the exit, did I? Let's have a look. Entirely possible. Oh, did it want me to go that way? Yeah. Don't think it makes that much difference. Connor, this is really annoying. I have a team working project that is due tomorrow and worked for 2 months on it. And one guy in the team has told me that he's just started. Really? Well, Connor, I would say to him that he's clearly he's clearly not a team player. Squirrel Logistics, did you use a keyboard when you first started playing ETS2? I can't go back to keyboard since I started with the wheel. I did start with keyboard, and then I quickly moved on to a joystick. And then after that, quickly moved on to a wheel. It's the Frosty mod. Grimes is Frosty mod. No, I think once you play this game with a wheel, you won't go back. It's a one-way trip. It's just so... the way it was meant to be played. Well, some people still do drive with the keyboard. It's almost Nvidia's catchphrase. I almost breached their trademark, didn't I? Have you entered to win £100 for Tesco during 100 years old? Turning 100 years old. Oh, Thomas. No. Oh my god. Almost slam dunked into the back of that. Okay, that car just went rip. Lane merges in this game. I've played other games where they lane merge pretty well. What are we carrying? We just picked up a load of lumber. Taking some lumber to Cyprus. That's what I use, Presley. Extreme 3D Pro. It's still a surprisingly capable joystick, 3D Pro. You've only got the farming wheel, very delicate. Yeah, but any wheel Sharpie is better than no wheel. Just because it gives you the, like, control. It gives you the absolute positioning. Like, if you turn your wheel 45 degrees, your steering wheel will turn by a set amount. Whereas if you have a controller or a joystick, you've got to hold it in that position until it begins turning. There's no translation between where you are with your stick and the position it will go to. It will just keep turning. The Lord Dobber. Thank you for your sub, Lord Dobber. Welcome to the Nut House. Thanks for that nutty welcome, guys. How come we don't find P3D? I tell you why. Because with P3D, it takes me many hours to get it set up, and then it will be fine, and then at some point it will just horribly break or crash. And I find that really annoying. Whereas with X-Plane, it just tends to... I don't know. As a platform, I understand how to, like, layer my add-ons and stuff, and it just works for me. Just like X-Plane. Unfortunately, some of the aircraft that I love, like the Dash 8, work best on P3D. Well, the implementation's better on P3D. Do you hold a PPL? I do. I'm currently trying to get my night rating. I am not using the frosty snow physics, no. I don't tend to like those winter mods. They tend to make it like way too slippy. Because you can't, as I said before, it's all very well making the roads really, really slippy, but you can't mitigate it by getting, you know, winter tyres, like proper chains on your tyres and stuff. So you end up just sliding around. What's the point of that?